Tapping in.
Are we live?
Tell me how, because I haven't actually spoken to you about this, man. How do you feel about this Tyler the Creator album? If we're moving right into recommended and review,
I like it. I appreciate Tyler's versatility. I appreciate how many different sounds he's given us over the years. This is his 7th studio album. And I think it just shows growth. It shows somebody who's very comfortable in creating, somebody who's very comfortable in pulling from sources of inspiration and incorporating them into their music. Call me if you get lost, Tyler the Creator.
it's fly. It's fly. It's very, very fly. So I call you and I say to you, hey, man, I don't know what you're doing, but if you like hip hop and you like nice things, give this album a run.
And I said, I like hip hop. And by golly, I also like nice things. So I will give it a run. And I did. And I think that just speaks to, I wasn't in the place to, I wasn't thinking, I didn't run to this, right, on my own accord. It's funny how quickly music starts to come out, and then you go from, that feeling of a drought to, man, I need some music, to, all right, I just want to live with this album. Still been keeping that her rotation, still been growing with that Gold Link, trying to go back to that J. Cole, develop even, it's I digest. But yeah, man, this Tyler the Creator album, immediately throwing it on, I heard why you called me to it. Similar to what I said on the Gold Link album, going through the first 2 tracks, I was just very happy about the experimentation I was hearing, and hearing that it was working, right? So that, what's it called? Corso is one of my favorite tracks on the whole joint. Track number 2, that's my type of stuff. Yeah, what were some of your thoughts? What were some of the vibes that you got from the album? What were some of your highlights?
Speaking about Cole, right? I called you and I said, I wonder if you'll be able to make a certain comparison with a certain artist. To me, this is Tyler the Creator's KOD. Hear me out. Hear me out. You with me?
Especially the track featuring Daisy World. I definitely got J. Cole vibes, but let me hear more on this theory.
Mainly because the sound, I think this particular album is not Tyler's most experimental album. If you look at I think Igor's his most experimental album. Ego is a very brash concept with an imagery to accompany it, and the musical aesthetic, in order to be very confrontational. A lot of screaming, a lot of electronic. It was a strong creative leap, and as Tyler does, he pulled that off, especially for his core fan base. Maybe didn't necessarily encompass the masses, but went with that. From there to drop this, which has a lot of commercial appeal, utilizing 42 Doug, utilizing Lil Uzi, utilizing NLE Chopper. I think in this he was like, oh, I see what you guys like, and I see what you want, and I can do it better than the people that you like doing it. And I think that's why we're hearing him just completely snap on it. This is KOD.
Yeah, I definitely felt him pulling from a lot of different sources, to your point. So I definitely see that comparison. I felt like Cole was doing a much more on the nose imitation to fit his point, where Tyler, I feel like, is still just making the music but borrowing from styles from Brockhampton, from the AG Club, from Mick Jenkins, kind of on the hip hop side, on the rap side, on the experimental, like you said, brash beats, instrumentation, and then borrowing. I heard a little bit of Anderson .Paak, definitely some Childish Gambino, in just the kind of R&B alternative kind of vibes he was giving, and even production wise, I heard some pulling from, of course, Alchemist, Harry Fraud. I definitely heard some lush, lavish beats that he, in even Freddie Gibbs fashion, was comfortable kind of being offbeat almost in a Griselda-esque way. So I think this does pull together a lot of things about hip hop that we're seeing right now, and distorting it into a an interesting alternative vision. And I dug
Yeah.
it much more than Igor. This one was, I got the experimentation, I got what he was trying to do, and I found a lot more that worked for me in it.
You know what I dig about this too, especially as somebody that grew up on the Gangsta Girls mixtape, that grew up on DJ Drama. Like, I think this was an ode to that time. You know, really giving it a hip hop, a mixtape, an early 2000 mixtape feel, and you feel that a lot on that Wheezy track. The fact that he's got Wheezy on there, and he's got Wheezy snapping, and he's got. And this funny, we joke about DJ Drama interrupting things constantly. This was, I think, the best use of DJ Drama on this mixtape. And like, if you have like your Kendrick Lamar's dropping "Damn"
Kid Capri.
with Kid Capri on it, and it, as almost an homage to that time, I think that is Tyler's version of that for our generation. And I think he pulled that off well, especially because he's got Wheezy Wee on there dropping one of the best Wheezy verses I've heard in a long time.
Well, yeah, I think there's. I mean, uh, I forget who originally dropped it. Which shows, how I be in and out of certain aspects of the culture. The Instagram part ain't for me, but somebody dropped a list of the top 10 rappers that had some of our favorite rappers in quite a tizzy. Conway was kind of talking some smack. Benny was getting in on it, but yeah, I forgot my point with that. But there was a
Wheezy
list
Wee.
of rappers. Wayne was on that list, even in 2021, and with BB King, freestyle with a few of the features that he's had this year. I think he's Miseducation with Cowboy. Weezy's got some. Weezy's still very much showing that he can make music in any decade. Because he's been doing it. He's what, 3 decades in right now. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Um, but for me, getting back to Tyler, you're so right with the DJ Drama like accompaniment. There was so much engaging production, even from the shortness of the songs, right? Like 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and then you get to the Brent Faiyaz joint. Got that 10-minute joint snuck in there, which I really wanted to like, but it sounded a little too much like they were going for an extended Earthquake to me, and I was like, But overall, Corso, What's Your Name, Lumberjack, Hot Wind Blows, my highlights.
It's dope, man. It's dope. The first half for me was definitely a lot stronger for me. So I dug that Lemonade. Yeah, I dug that Lemonhead. I dug that Manifesto, Juggernaut. Even the what's the name? Even that 90s R&B feel too. I really dug how I pulled that off. All in all, man, I think this dude was very surgical with this thing. I think he was very intentional about it. I think this shows just creative prowess, being able to take the style that people like and be like, cool, and I'm gonna do this in Switzerland, and I'm gonna do it on a mountain. And we saw videos back in quarantine when he was in Switzerland producing the stuff, and we're like, oh, this is dope. And to see what comes from that, you as a man who loves Switzerland himself, I must say I can admire that type of panache.
Hey, panache is for sure the word. Big Drip. This album is straight vibes. Yeah, I recommend one listen to, like, it's probably one of the more experimental albums that I could recommend one listen to anybody. Give it one listen and like skip through it if you need to. I think you'll find something you like. There's a lot there.
But if because we're now at month 7, right? And I know I'm putting you on the spot over here. If we have to list our top hip hop albums very quickly, if you can just give me a quick, what is your top maybe 3 to 5? And I will start by saying the best hip hop album of this year is Makami's Pray for Haiti. I put that first, and then
Okay.
I'll go to. I'll put that first, and that's where I'm settled on right now. That's what I know for a fact. That's first.
Miles, I'm putting you on the spot. I need 3 to 5 names from you. I'm gonna give you one and go.
Your turn. Take it away.
Well, if we're gonna keep it hip hop, then I think that Mac Hami is definitely on my top 5. But I got to put that Benny the Butcher, the plugs I'm at 2 above that. Got to do that. Let's see. I got to put I'm thinking Voice of the Heroes might be in there. Just volume of music that I think is gonna be that I think will stay with us. There's a lot that I'm looking forward to that I think is gonna be it. I think 42 Doug's album is gonna be in there. I think Isaiah Rashad's album is gonna be in there. We know that's coming.
Mhm.
Yeah, this is
It's
tough. I think
difficult to do that.
whatever Meek project drops, but I think for now I'd say Benny the Butcher, Mac Hami. Man, I'm gonna hate myself later for this list, but
For sure. We'll come back
Voice,
to it.
Voice of the Heroes. 3, and let me get y'all two more. I'll go with that Judas and the Black Messiah soundtrack so I can cheat a little bit.
Nice.
Because that What It Feels Like is fire. There's just so much there. Even though it's not all hip hop. And this is real tough. But I guess I can put that Tyler in there as a placeholder for now. And we'll see what
You
the
can definitely do that.
rest of the year brings.
You can definitely do
T
that.
Grizzly's album wasn't bad.
That's right. T Grizzly wasn't bad. Also, you're looking at that Young Thug. It was a Slime Life, was it? Damn, how am I forgetting this album?
Oh yes, I'd probably put that up there actually.
Slime Language 2.
Yeah, that's competing for 5 with this Tyler album. That's definitely up there.
You got Culture 3 if you want that. You got some Sayari the Kid albums that dropped.
Ooh, I gotta check out that Sayari. G Herbo dropped this Friday. I followed your lead and listened to the Tyler, but I'm gonna need to check out that Herbo.
In the same way you take my advice on that, please listen to that Peter Rosenberg Real Late album, bro. There you go. Peter Rosenberg's Real Late. That bro, listen to that.
I'm with it.
How many mics are we giving it so we can close this up properly and give it to the people?
I'm giving this 3.5 mics. I'm giving it 3.5. That feels a little stingy, but I'm trying to look to the future, not giving myself any recency bias. Reserve what I hold as a 4. I'm gonna give this 3.5 mics.
Do we want to talk about how we don't care about that J. Cole album anymore, or are we just gonna keep it pushing?
You know what, dude? I stand by, because I think I gave that 3 mics. I stand by my thoughts on that J. Cole album. It certainly wasn't a step up for me. You would be hard pressed to call it bad rapping, but I think it doesn't have anything that particularly makes me care about it. Yeah, I think I don't care. Sounds like it's bad and it's not, but I don't care is the real feeling.
Interesting. Only Cole album that I've yet to go back to. This is the least replayed Cole album that I've received so far since Friday Night Lights.
I would say that I probably this. I would
Even
say
before Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, I really didn't go back. I took changes from For Your Eyes Only, and that was about it.
You know I love For Your Eyes Only. You know I love that.
Neighbors is all right. Neighbors and Changes. So, but I really only have Punch in the Clock from the off season. So yeah, it's those two and his first album. But we can't forget J. Cole 18 months ago bodied every feature from every artist in the game, right? So whoever you think is the top artist right now, J. Cole made a song with them and bodied it. So
we got Cole fatigue, you think?
I don't think we got Cole fatigue. Maybe Cole, you know what I'm saying? Maybe I think Cole tries to pick a different direction and tries to make a point with each album, and this was just a miss, you know, in the way that we were ready for KOD, and whether you really like that album musically or not, it spoke to the time and nailed it spot on. I think this just didn't. Just was just a miss in that way, you know?
Yeah, and that happens. And that happens. Listen, if there's anything that these people need us to review, to recommend, anything we should look at, anything we should pull open, please just let us know either in the comment section, send us messages, reach out to us, whatever, man. Like Miles said, whether you're listening on Spotify, YouTube, on SoundCloud, whatever it is, we see you and we appreciate it, man. That's what we do it for.